Naruto's Path to Power, Perfect Jinchuriki and Unstoppable Rise Against Konoha's Root. Episode 81. The Mysteries of Konoha Fluid Art, 1,000 Years Without Pulling Thin. In the face of the attacking shuriken, Kakashi did not panic at all, and when the shuriken was about to hit, the avatar instantly launched to block all the shuriken. Sakura, who was lying in the grass, shouted in fright, "Sasuke! You're doing too much." The incense on the tree on the other side shouted, "Idiot wide forehead, this is a stand-in. You are exposed." Kakashi, who was standing behind Sasuke, looked at Kakashi with black lines on his head, as if he were not exposed. And Sasuke's face changed, so fast. This is the strength of Sharingan? Naruto, as a practical teacher, naturally will not really interact with this group of little fart children. Just like poor Madara said, where adults will see like children. So every time he beat a child, Naruto used only a physical technique that was above them. If Sasuke hadn't bumped into Naruto beating Uchiha Itachi, he would have naively thought that he would be able to catch up with Naruto at this time. Now seeing Kakashi appear behind his back in an instant, Sasuke's face changed in an instant, his eyes shrunk, and instantly turned scarlet, and then his body's reaction ability skyrocketed, and he jumped out of the bushes violently. Kakashi looked into Sasuke's eyes with some surprise. "Sharingan? I didn't expect you to open so early." Sasuke snorted proudly, "I'm a genius of the Uchiha clan. I opened my eyes when I was 8 years old." The whole clan died light, angrily opened a hook of jade, originally closed again, who had thought that Naruto's exposure stimulation directly let Sasuke keep the hook of jade he exchanged for the whole clan. But it's just a hook of jade. Naruto has never seen such a stupid Uchiha clan. No matter how he has stimulated him in recent years, he was stunned to only open a hook of jade, a single pair of God TM, Danfeng eyes hey. Being able to write the wheel I one by one hook jade and one by one can only be done by 2 pillars. After all, most of the Uchiha people who appear in the plot start with double hook jade and cap the kaleidoscope. Even Obito, known as the tail of the crane, saw that Wuwukai was injured, and he directly opened the double hook jade. On the other hand, this genius who was boasted by Itachi as a once-in-a-century rare encounter in the Uchiha family, the slowness of his strength promotion is outrageous. If it weren't for the Great Snake Pill using various consumption potentials, the forbidden technique of lifespan would raise Sasuke's strength. I am afraid that at that time, Sasuke had already been dumped 108,000 miles away by Naruto, who followed Jiraiya to practice. And at this time, looking at the confident Sasuke, Kakashi decided to teach him a lesson. After all, he was his former brother, or the only clan of his own friends, and he still had to take care of it. One of the ninja tactics, physical skills, let me teach you. Sasuke snorted coldly, "See my eyes? Any physical skill can only do useless work in front of these eyes." Since opening the Sharingan, even Naruto's movements can be easily captured. This gives him confidence in his progress. Yes, Kakashi stared at Sasuke with his one-eyed amusement, as if looking at a frog at the bottom of a well. Immediately, he took out the limited intimate paradise from his ninja bag, then casually ignored Sasuke and looked up. "What's wrong? Hurry up and let the horses come." Kakashi ticked it with his other hand, and then he slipped that hand into his pocket, making it clear that he intended to give Sasuke 2 hands. Sasuke's eyes widened when he saw this, and his face turned red with anger. As a genius, he has never suffered such treatment. This time he was completely furious. "Die!" Sasuke roared angrily and rushed directly towards Kakashi. However, Naruto is obviously not a hot-blooded anime that exports all roar. Even if Sasuke shouted louder, the experience gap between him and Kakashi was extremely large. Even if he did, it was absolutely impossible to win Kakashi in skill. Naruto relied on more strength, faster speed, and powerful moves. If the two of them were put on the same strength competition technique, 10 Naruto would definitely not. After all, Kakashi had been in the dark department for 13 years alone, and before that, he had become a shinobi early, and his rich combat experience was definitely not comparable to someone like Naruto who had nothing to do all day. So even though the 2 pillars are as imposing as a rainbow, they are all easily dodged by Kakashi in one move. And even this time Kakashi seems to have no intention of releasing water in the plot at all. He held a book in one hand and a pocket in the other, but dodged all of Sasuke's attacks. Abominable. How could it be so strong? The gap shouldn't be so big. Sasuke gritted his teeth and looked at Kakashi, who was focused on the little yellow book, only to see that his hands began to seal rapidly, and he took a sharp breath and aimed at Kakashi. Fire escape how fireball technique. A cloud of flames erupted from Sasuke's mouth and spewed towards Kakashi's location. Naruto, who was sit up, rolled his eyes, "Idiot." With his current ceiling speed, facing a ninja like Kakashi to release ninjutsu is completely equivalent to sitting still. Sure enough, after the fireball was sprayed, Kakashi appeared behind Sasuke without knowing when. Ninjas can't be left wide behind their backs, stupid. Sasuke's face changed, not good. Sakura's face changed, that's the tiger seal. Is he going to fight back with fire? However, Kakashi suddenly shouted, Konoha Ryu Ninjutsu, Gymnastic Mystery. 1,000 years without pulling thin. Sasuke, I. Yen Yen times. Looking at Sasuke, who flew out with his butt covered, Xiangyu and Sakura snorted at the same time. Even if 097 is going back to school to retake, they definitely can't hit this trick. With a pop, the two pillars fell to Naruto's side. Naruto smiled and asked Sasuke, how? Do you feel it? Sasuke, I have you. Yen. Looking at the angry Sasuke, Naruto laughed. Sasuke covered his ass and cursed, this super big idiot. Which bastard developed this trick? Naruto, his daddy. And Kakashi looked at Sasuke and taunted, oops, what's wrong? If you can't get the bell before noon, you won't have food. Aren't you the first place in the ninja school? That's it? He said he wanted to kill, but his actions were not good. Kakashi sneered and prodded Sasuke with a Itachi. After saying this, Sasuke's face changed drastically, and a pair of Sharingan eyes stared at Kakashi deadly. 8 doors Dunjia. The first gate, open the door. Open. Kakashi's eyes narrowed. Was this what Naruto taught them in school? On the other side, Kakashi looked at Kakashi, who was attracted by Sasuke's attention, and was happy in his heart. It was now. Spiral pill. Xiangzhen shouted, and an extra ball in his hand pressed sharply towards Kakashi. Nanny. Kakashi's face changed. Naruto actually gave this ninjutsu to Shimo Shinobu, who had not yet graduated? Episode 82. Kakashi, 8 doors Dunja? I will. 2. Is Xiangzhen's chakra controllable? The answer is strong. She can learn to open Kagura's heart eye and Vajra chain on her own, and she is naturally quite strong in chakra control. Most of Naruto's power could not be imparted to the little strongman, but there is no doubt that this A-level ninjutsu is the easiest to teach. The ninjutsu that even the hairy Konoha pill can learn during the shinobi period, Xiangzhen is naturally not at all. Even under Naruto's guidance, focusing chakra on a single point for the strange power to erupt, Xiangyu has already initially comprehended it. After all, there is nothing else in the pure bloodline vortex family, that is, the amount of chakra is large. They had enough chakra to experiment with what it was like to focus chakra on one point for an outburst. On the contrary, Sakura, who is a civilian ninja, these students are not so well equipped to learn these ninjutsu. Even Sasuke, who did not activate Indra's bloodline now, could not complete the casting of the spiral pill. After all, they simply don't have that large chakra to practice daily non-stop. Although he was acting, Kakashi opened the chakra eye and released a water dragon and the art of the Great Falls for half a month without anyone doubting, which is enough to show that chakra is not so easy to refine. Not to mention this group of little fart children who have not yet graduated from ninja school. It was a lot of work to break a water ball with chakra every day, and only the incense of the Uzumaki clan was constantly practicing the tricks given by Naruto, and finally mastered the use of spiral pills before graduation. Sasuke on the other side opened the first door, and his speed and thinking ability improved again. I can't be eliminated in a place like this anyway. I must ask that man clearly. Sasuke shouted angrily, and a whoosh appeared at Kakashi's side. This time his movements were clean and his speed increased again, and even Kakashi had to put the intimate heaven back into the ninja bag first. Yes, the speed of strength has been visibly improved, and the brain domain development has also been improved to the extreme because of the 8 doors of Dunjia. Then let's move on to the next lesson, Ninja Tactics Lesson 2, Ninjutsu. 8 doors Dunjia, 3rd gate, Raw gate, open. Earth Dragon Bullet Technique. Sasuke, Kazuki, Naruto on the side twitched twice out of the corner of his eye. I leaned in, this is a bit shameless. People finally opened the first door, and you directly opened the 3rd door in seconds to bully people. I also casually put an Earth Dragon Bullet to hit the incense burner, which is somewhat shameless. And Xiangyu seemed to understand this, and she cursed angrily. How can you perform this ninjutsu with a newly graduated shinobi? Do you still want to point your face? Kakashi rolled his dead fish eyes and kicked Sasuke out without caring and laughed. Of course, you are Naruto's disciples, even me. I can't underestimate you too much, after all, even such a dangerous ninjutsu is handed over to you. I don't want to capsize in the gutter. Xiangli angrily pressed the spiral pill on the Earth Dragon Bullet, and although he successfully dispersed the Earth Dragon Bullet, the chakra condensed by the spiral pill has also disappeared. Kakashi instantly came to Xiangyu and stared at her with a smile, and Kakashi looked at Kakashi with a dry smile. Ha ha ha, have you had breakfast? In the next second, he also flew out upside down with Sasuke. At this time, Sakura, who was not moving in the grass, sighed. Fortunately she was smart and did not expose her figure. However, Kakashi's faint voice came from behind him. Ninja Tactics 3, Illusion. A scream came, and Sakura fainted in the trees on the spot, and Sasuke and Kazuki looked ugly at the shadow doppelganger dissipating not far away. The difference in strength between several people and Kakashi was too big. Almost, you're going a little too far. Naruto rolled his eyes. He knew Kakashi's true strength. This guy used Ratchet as a flat A during the Dark Division, and hung a dog's head on the wall of the dirt stream. Therefore, the lack of blue at the beginning of the plot was completely deliberate to stimulate the strength of Naruto and Sasuke, so he showed weakness. Even if it lacks blue, it has not been reduced to lying directly for half a month with 2 water-done ninjutsu. He said it purely out of laziness, plus to increase Naruto Sasuke's sense of urgency. Of course, it is not ruled out that it is to paralyze the hidden in the shadows. After all, Momochi, one of the 7 people of the ninja sword, is not chopped, even after the 4th battle. It is still back and forth with Kakashi at that time at the shadow level. In the end, neither of them did their best in the plot of the Land of Waves. After all, they did not cut in order to save the mist-hidden village and collect funds. And even if they became rebels, they still followed the ridiculous rules of watching ninjas. Even if after Bai died, Kaido gave up the mission against the water, his first thought was to terminate the mission instead of taking revenge on Kaido. Naruto knew if Kakashi's real purpose was to be willing to break the rules of ninja for the sake of his companions. This was originally completely contrary to the direction of the village's cultivation. But Kakashi was clearly influenced by Tsuchiko, and had made this his life creed. How did he know that the current brother Tozi was pondering how to create a world with only Lin? Kakashi glanced at Naruto, then sneered at Sasuke and Kashi. Consider using ninjutsu again. The strength I used should give you a chance to grab the bell. If you only have this level, you can go back to school and retake it. Ninjas are not only beasts with brute force. Saying that, he also glanced at Naruto, who was looking at him with a look of disdain. It was clear that this was being said to Naruto. Even if he is as strong as the 3rd generation of Thunder Shadow AI, he was eventually consumed to death by tens of thousands of ninjas in Yenin village, and the 2nd generation of Hokage is also in Yunin village. Although some people are strong, it is not a way to deal with it. It was clear that Kakashi was mentioning Naruto, and even his strength should not be overconfident. Although he couldn't say exactly what the 3 generations planned for him, as a disciple of the 4th generation, he finally felt that he had to guide Naruto to a safe path. Kakashi naturally has never seen the strength of the first 1,000 hand pillars, and in his impression that the strength of the 3 generations is probably the strongest, but the same level naturally has the shadows of other villages, and he who has participated in the 3 wars naturally knows the cruelty of war. Therefore, he wanted to warn Naruto not to think that he could do whatever he wanted with the strength of the shadow level, and there were not a few shadow level powerhouses who died under the carelessness. But it was obvious that he underestimated Naruto's strength, and Naruto at this time deservedly had already stepped into the ranks of the super shadow, with a chakra amount of up to 7,000 calories, enough to support the reincarnation I and Mudun that could only be used as a trick before. Naruto naturally didn't bother to refute Kakashi. After all, his vision was still too narrow now. Kakashi continued to say to Sasuke and the others, "So you are the imps." He put on a fierce expression and frightened. "Are you underestimating ninjas?" "Yes. Why do you think you should do the drill in separate shifts?" That means you didn't understand the answer to this test at all. Although Sasuke and Kazuki temporarily discovered the flaws I deliberately showed and chose to attack. But this kind of accidental cooperation is not called team cooperation at all. Sakura was also a teammate and you gave up without hesitation, right? Even if his strength is the weakest, if he has a good plan, he still has a chance to rob the bell in my hands. Sacrificing individuals and also choosing teamwork is the real content of this assessment. Tasks are something that each class needs to complete collaboratively. It's true that important personal skills are required for a ninja, but are you sure you can have great strength like Naruto? So this assessment was originally a test of the team's ability, and it was obvious that all 3 of you were unqualified. And at this time Kakashi's words changed. "However, I decided to give you one last chance, but the afternoon will be a more brutal battle for the bell. The guy who wants to challenge eats the bento, but you have to choose a guy who will be punished." "That's right, it's tied to a pillar and watch the other 2 teammates finish the bento. This is the punishment for your failure. If you can't choose a target for punishment, then all of you will be unqualified." Sasuke and Kazuki frowned, and both looked at Sakura who fainted at the same time. She shouldn't know these things, right? But both then denied the idea. Sasuke snorted coldly, "I can't make a weak girl a scapegoat yet." Xiangxin nodded. Although she and Sakura were in a competitive relationship, she couldn't do this kind of stabbing in the back. Kakashi looked deeply at Sasuke and Kakashi. "In other words, even if you choose to recultivate, you are not willing to follow the rules I set, right?" Sasuke snorted coldly. "Kazuki, go wake up Sakura, let's go back." Xiangyan sighed with some complaints. "Can it only be like this?" And Kakashi looked at the 2 who were unwilling to follow the rules for the sake of his companions, and suddenly saw the figures of Shirdai and Obito in his heart. Suddenly he smiled. "Wait a minute." Sasuke and Kakashi glanced at Kakashi strangely, and Kakashi shook his fist angrily and said, "Is there anything else? If you don't participate in the assessment, you still want to punish us?" beware of Naruto-sama beating you. And Kakashi suddenly grinned, congratulations, qualified. Sasuke, Keiu, huh? Sakura, who has not yet broken free from the illusion. Episode 83. The magical application of the small universe. The confused 7th class was formed, especially Sakura, who didn't do anything. She fell into a spell and turned back to Sasuke and Kagami to tell her that she had passed the exam. No way, Sakura is just a civilian ninja after all, and the 3rd generation originally inserted her into the 7th class purely to make up for it. The reason is naturally that she is Naruto's sweetheart, so it is used to stimulate Naruto to become stronger. It's funny that Sakura has benefited from Naruto since graduation, but she has been attached to Sasuke for the entire 720 episodes. However, Sakura in this world gave Sasuke's place to Naruto, but on the contrary, Naruto did not feel much for Sakura. After all, watching the anime, Sakura's personality is really not pleasant. But that didn't stop Sakura from being unrequited for Naruto. The passing of the assessment allowed the 7th shift to start the task, and unlike in the original book, Naruto, who was supposed to do some dirty work, became the overseer of the 7th shift at this time. Every day, in addition to finding the red flirt who is also the guide of Shangnan, it is to take 3 small dogs to catch cats, pull weeds, and pick up garbage. While recuperating, he can also receive an additional love allowance, which undoubtedly makes Naruto a lot more generous when accompanying his sister. After all, always taking girls to eat overlord meals is quite faceless. Now that he has a serious job and is still an overseer, this makes Naruto directly incarnate Yang Bailao, and the original tasks of one day have directly increased to 3, and the name of the United States and Japan helps practice. And Naruto has not been idle since 090. During this time, in addition to arranging Saitama cultivation method every day, he has been pondering this small universe of golden saints. Originally, he planned to close his 5 senses every day and wanted to awaken the legendary 6th sense. But in fact, when he did it for the first time, he found that even if he closed the 5 senses, the talent Kagura Heart Eye as a whirlpool was exactly the same as the introduction of the 6th sense in Saint Seiya. They are all the 6th sense that belongs to Xuanji Xian's spiritual thinking, that is, the feeling generated by the brain. It's just that Saint Seiya's cultivation system can develop and cultivate this feeling. And the most basic cultivation method brought by Leo is the power of the S-class hero Tornado in One Punch Man. Control of matter or energy through thought. When the almanac is powerful enough, it can even manipulate atoms to make up any matter. It also tears apart spacetime with ideas, transferring objects or people through spacetime. Eolia once forcibly moved Sharna and Seiya in front of him with the power of mind, and was manipulated by the power of mind, and his body seemed to be pulled by an invisible force. It's a pity that with Naruto's current spiritual energy, it is undoubtedly more difficult to achieve this level. Although his spiritual energy at this time was among the best in the ninja world, he had awakened the legendary perception ninjutsu Kagura Heart Eye. But in the world of Saint Seiya, Naruto's strength can only be regarded as having just opened the 6th sense. When it was just turned on, Naruto's power to use Nien power was probably equivalent to being able to lift a girl's skirt from a distance. Well, at least much stronger than Kagura's Shinkoku. I can only sense chakra. How much can it interfere with the material world, right? In order to cultivate his 6th sense, Naruto would constantly release his motivation while paddling with Overseer and other instructors. At this time, his mental power was already able to easily lift things within 200 pounds. Moreover, the power of mind is different from the use of reincarnation eyes to manipulate gravity. As long as it does not exceed the limit of use, the consumption of this thing is almost negligible. In other words, even if he does not turn on the reincarnation eye chakra mode, he can already fly in the air at will. He can finally be like the big Nogi of Iwahide village, using flying instead of walking. A few months passed, and during this time, Naruto got soft on the task reward, although it was only some scattered D-level tasks, but the number went up, and the reward was also considerable. After all, high-level tasks, the shorter ones will take several days, the longer ones may take a month or 2, and the D-level tasks are different. Under Naruto's pressure, the 7th shift is almost completed at the rate of 3 a day. Every day is like following work, doing 996 hard life. And Naruto doesn't have to complete the task himself. He only needs to fly in the air every day to look at the scenery and can easily get money and get soft. This is exactly the same as Naruto told the 3rd generation that he only takes money and does not work. At this time, Naruto was thinking about simply lying down and being invincible. However, it was clear that the 3 generations and the others did not intend to make it so comfortable, and after completing a cat-catching mission, Sarutobi suddenly took out a scroll and said to Naruto and the others, "Given the strength of your 7th squad, the mission release office unanimously believes that you already have a task to take on a higher level. It just so happens that there is a C-level mission here that suits your XS, and I think Sasuke you should be very interested in sending you to protect someone." After speaking, the 3 generations also glanced at Naruto's reaction. As soon as Sarutobi said this, Sasuke and the others suddenly lit up their eyes. They had long been tired of this endless chorus by Naruto. This is like a ninja. Even civilians are more comfortable than themselves, because most of the tasks are paid for by civilians. Making himself look like a miscellaneous made the vengeful Sasuke dissatisfied for a long time. However, Naruto raised his eyebrows and looked at Sarutobi Hinata. He knew that this should be a mission in the land of waves, and the original 3 generations had Kakashi take a mission out of the village with the seal scroll in order to test whether Naruto was running away. However, since Naruto crossed over, he has already exposed his strength to the eyes of Konoha's high level, and even they can't go out of the village at will. It stands to reason that what they prefer should be Naruto never leave the village in this life. Even when Naruto followed Jiraiya, the elders wanted to send the Dark Department to follow, but in the end Jiraiya refused. Now Ape Flying Sun Chopper has taken the initiative to give himself this task out of the village again. At this time, even Naruto couldn't figure out what these old guys were planning. There must be demons when things went wrong, and these guys definitely had hidden secrets. However, Naruto at this time completely looked down on these frogs at the bottom of the well in Konoha village who fought to be the village chief. Naruto looked at Sarutobi and smiled slightly. No problem, but this task pays. But he knew that Dazna of the Land of Waves was as poor as TM asking for food, and he reluctantly took out a C-grade deposit to fool Naruto and the others, thinking that after the bridge was built, he would make a white strip and compensate after the economy of the country of waves was restored. Who thought that Kaido's assassination directly exposed it? If it weren't for Naruto being a hot-blooded fool, he would have been quacked by Kaido not know how many times, and even his daughter estimated that there was no good end. Sarutobi looked at Naruto's financial fan with black lines, and then he said with a smile, "Don't worry, the reward is very high, and the task issuer directly submitted a B-level bounty, which can be regarded as a little care I gave you." Saying that, the 3 generations also winked at Naruto. Nima. Naruto instantly bristled. "I'll make it. I don't like men." Not to mention the old man. Ape Flying Sun Chop. Episode 84. Cultivating the second pillar into Shinyon. Sarutobi beckoned, and a drunken old man immediately came in by the outer door. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Sure enough, it was Dazna. Although even if he didn't give Naruto it, he planned to ask for it, but Feng Dong gave it to it seemed problematic. What? What a little ghost. Dazna took a drunken sip of wine and complained, "I paid for B-level tasks." The Ape Flying Sun sitting at the table cut his face black. "MD, you still have to make an inch. How did you get this B-level task reward? Turn your head forgot." The 3 of Sasuke looked at the mocking Dazna with a dark face, especially the irascible incense, and shouted with a fist, "What the hell, old man? Believe it or not, I'll kill you." Naruto pressed her head behind and said helplessly, "You give me a little more honesty." Although there is no Han Naruto in the original book, Xiangyu perfectly fills the role of the active atmosphere in the team. Datsner looked at Naruto and nodded. "This one still looks like a little. I am a super celebrity who builds bridges, Datsuna. During the time when I returned to China to build bridges, you have to protect me desperately and super well." Kakashi frowned and looked at Datsuna and the 3 generations, the C-level mission, the B-level reward. Even he felt that something was wrong, but at this time he was no longer in the Dark Department, and there was no extra information to analyze. After simply packing their luggage, everyone set off directly, which was the first time Sasuke and several people were particularly excited to perform a mission out of the village. Instead, Naruto looked uninterested. After all, the ninja world at this time was too backward for him. Basically, the more advanced entertainment facilities are concentrated in Konoha. There's nothing to do elsewhere either. Naruto discovered the last time he rescued Xiangyu that most of the villages outside the shinobi village lived in the farming era, while the shinobi village entered the electric age. Kakashi, who had just left the village, casually glanced at the big tree in front of the door. At this time, the Oni brothers were squatting at the door of Konoha early to monitor Dazna's whereabouts. Kakashi stepped forward and whispered to Kakashi, "Sensei." Kakashi directly made a silent code word. Dazna kept muttering on the side, "Is there really nothing wrong with sending such a little ghost? If you don't believe us, you can go to the 3rd generation at any time to return the money. After all, it is the money of a B-level task." Naruto smiled at Dazna. For this guy who likes moral kidnapping, Naruto said that as long as I don't have morality, I won't be kidnapped. Dazna closed his mouth in disdain. Where did he have any B-level task reward? Just a C-level task is still just a deposit. When the 3 generations of Hokage approached him, he thought that his false information had been exposed. Who would have thought that Sarutobi actually ran over and took the initiative to increase the task reward to the B-level? Datsner glanced at Naruto enviously. This is the back of that high level, let Hokage take care of it so much. On the other hand, it was his own village that he couldn't afford to eat, compared to the popularity of death. Not long after leaving the village, Naruto's eyes flashed, and he thought thoughtfully, and a playful expression appeared on his face. and Kakashi on the side noticed the change in Naruto's expression. What's wrong? Naruto smiled, something happy came to mind. Kakashi gave Naruto a strange look. Is it? Then he ignored Naruto's brain circuits. He could never keep up, saying strange words every day as if he was not inferior to this world. However, what he didn't know was that just now, several black shadows left from Konoha village and rushed in the direction of Naruto and the others. Obviously, in order to prevent Naruto's Kagura Shinto from noticing, they deliberately chose a distance that Kagura Shinto could not reach. But they couldn't imagine how terrifying Naruto's perception range was, who had already opened the little treasure world. Naruto touched his chin. Dark part? Root? It seems that there is no need to track now, right? Interesting. Naruto smiled. The soldiers came to cover the water, and now this group of enemies who lost their hair at the beginning had already become a spice for boring life at this time. After a day's journey, everyone arrived at the border of the Land of Fire. While passing near a river, a pool of stagnant water caught everyone's attention. Except for Sakura, who was unaware, Sasuke, who opened the Sharingan, and Kagura, who had the talent of Kagura's heart's eye, all noticed the Oni brothers hidden in the puddle. Kakashi raised his eyebrows, feeling that now was the time to test the resilience of these people. After all, there is an essential difference between training and actual combat. However, after all, he underestimated Naruto's teachings in the past 6 years. All of them passed by the puddle as if they were unaware. The hydrated ghost brothers looked disdainful, and the god horse garbage Konoha ninja couldn't even see his own disguise. However, just as they were about to strangle Kakashi, Sasuke and Kazune, who had already walked over, suddenly turned around. Fire. The art of fireballs. Sign. Shadow doppelganger. Spiral pills. A huge explosion came from behind everyone, and Sakura looked at the smoke behind the smoke with a confused expression. What are you doing? Kakashi's black hair was full of black lines and he sensed the pain on the face of the Oni brother behind him, who was no longer in human form. Are you guys going a little too far? However, before the words were finished, Sasuke and Kagami came up with another set of combined ninjutsu. Fire. The art of fireballs. Spiral pill. Alright. One of the two experienced the night of extermination, and the other experienced the tragic childhood of his mother being bitten to death. There is no discomfort with killing someone for the first time. Xiangxin looked at Naruto with an excited look and asked, how is it? I did as brother Naruto taught, and added the knife by surprise. Absolutely do not give the enemy any chance. The corners of Kakashi's mouth twitched wildly at Naruto. What the hell did you give them something? And Naruto cast a satisfied look to both Sasuke and Karo. Yes, this actual battle fully shows that you have recorded my training in your mind. But you're still not cautious enough. Although you are the protagonists at this stage, accidents caused by improper operation are not excluded. So, now all you have to do is be careful. Careful. Or be cautious. The strength must be well hidden, and the enemy must be dealt with all your strength. One hit kills. Don't talk too much. The villain dies of talking too much. You've done a great job of that, but your habit of shouting the name of the move must be changed for me. It's as if the enemy doesn't know what move he's going to use. You are ninjas. Poisoning, assassination, sneak attack, trap, how to sneak damage. Kakashi. Episode 85. Naruto who likes white. Kakashi looked at the hapless child who had become black charcoal, with black lines all over his head. Hello, ask who is it against to kill again. Dasna looked at his nose and looked at his heart, and he was relieved in his heart. It seems to be saved. It is good to die, and when you die, no one knows that you are coming to find yourself. Sakura on the side was so frightened that she shivered. After all, it was a 12-year-old civilian girl. Where did she see such a scene? Naruto preached his villain law to the 12, and only Sasuke and Karu, who had hatred, agreed, and successfully used it in this actual battle. Kakashi glanced at the nervous Datsuna, and then thought of the B-level mission bounty given by the third generation. Mr. Dasna, the standard of the C-level mission is just not to be attacked by armed groups such as thieves and gangsters, right? Now that I have just set off, there is already the intervention of the middle shinobi of the mist-hidden village, which is not as simple as a C-level mission. Dasna looked at Kakashi's dead fish eyes and felt faint in his heart. Didn't I already raise the bounty to level B? Even if you pay a B-level bounty, if false information is available, we may treat you as a spy. After all, if it is a B-level mission, it is impossible for the third generation to distribute such a dangerous mission to newcomers. Sakura on the side said a little weakly, huh? This mission is really too early for us, right? Abort, right? Don't. Dasna's face showed excitement. If you give up your mission, my poor old man will definitely be killed. At that time, my poor 8-year-old granddaughter will definitely hate Konoha's ninjas. And then my daughter will hate Konoha ninjas all her life, and then live alone, right? Alas, forget it, it's nothing, it's not your fault anyway. Everyone looked at each other. Kakashi scratched his head wordlessly. In Dasna's opinion, It was Konoha's high-ranking people who were willing to raise the bounty themselves in order to take care of their juniors. If they knew that this mission was so dangerous, they would definitely not let Naruto and the others take the task, and ordinary sea-level tasks are some lower patience and medium patience. Now that he has just gone out, he has already encountered the attack of Nakashinobu, and a sea-level mission is absolutely unable to protect himself from Cardo. Now that I finally have such strong support, this is definitely an opportunity that cannot be missed. Naruto, on the other hand, picked his nose and said with a look of disdain, "Get in our way." "Dasna?" Naruto spread his hands and said, "If you hate it, and you're not the only one who hates Konoha. Instead of playing moral kidnapping here, think about how to repay us." Dasna looked embarrassed. He never expected that there was a guy who was not kidnapped by morality. Aren't Konoha ninjas all amiable? How is it different from the rumors? Dasnano didn't know how to answer. They were so poor that even the daimyo couldn't get the money for a B-class mission, and he really couldn't think of anything he could repay them. And Naruto coughed twice at this time. "You just said you still have a daughter?" Everyone? After negotiating the remuneration, Naruto happily walked in the forefront. Kazuki and Sakura behind them looked at Naruto with resentment on their faces. Sasuke looked disdainful. The woman would only affect the speed at which he drew the knife. And Kakashi looked helpless. "Isn't this too much of a joke?" And Naruto in the front laughed and patted Dasna's shoulder. "Don't worry. Even if Kaido comes, I will beat him into a long worm, and then your girl's side will be up to you to lobby." Dasna laughed and secretly cursed in his heart, this shameless fellow. Unexpectedly, he started the idea of his 29-year-old daughter. "I also planned to prostitute in vain." Bah, but thinking of the children in his country who could not even afford to eat, Dasna had to grit his teeth and agree. "The boat is naturally straight to the bridge, there will always be a way, if not, tell him to have free love." Well, that's right, that's it. When the bridge is finished and drive them away, I don't believe they can still overlord the bow. In the strange atmosphere along the way, everyone smuggled back to the territory of the Land of Waves, and Naruto originally planned to push all the way to enjoy this rare vacation and feel the beauty of the young woman. Who would have thought that no matter what he said, Dasna and those villagers were afraid to start the engines of the ships with the scared faces. By the time we arrived in the territory of the Land of Waves, it was already the second day. As everyone walked in a forest, Kakashi's brow furrowed. "Lie down." Kakashi burst out, and a large knife spun and flew towards everyone. Seeing this, Sasuke and the others hurriedly lay down. Only Naruto looked at the flying decapitation knife with disdain, took out the chopping moon in the space and stood in front of him. The wind attribute chakra nature change was attached to it, and the terrifying wind blade instantly split the decapitation knife in two. Jingle bells. Fragments of the decapitated knife fell on both sides, and the one who had originally been instantaneous in advance to the air was no longer chopping because there was no foothold, and he stood heavily on the ground with his back to everyone. Without slowly turning his head, a gust of wind blew through the two silk scarves around his neck and moved with the wind. "Are you Kakashi from Sharingan? Excuse me, can you hand over that old man to me?" "Two people. You're still pretending." Kakashi turned to look at Naruto. He didn't panic in the slightest, because he was confident enough to defeat and not behead. This is the confidence of being the leader of the Dark Army, even if the other party is one of the legendary ninja Dao 7. But he needed to ask Naruto's intentions, because he saw in Naruto's eyes the look he had when he had beaten himself. "How? Are you going to make a move?" No matter how much time he didn't behead, his face instantly darkened, and even if he destroyed his own decapitation knife, he even wanted to send a little fart to fight with him. Even the legendary replica ninja Kakashi went too far. "Don't think that if you destroy my knife, you can win." He instantly picked up the half-decapitated knife. "This is one of the 7 ninja swords. I can repair the blade by myself as long as I suck enough blood." Naruto waved 1.3 hands at Kakashi. "I'll come first, I'll finish beating you and then go up." "No more chopping," is completely angry, little ghost. "Don't underestimate people. Ninjutsu missed hidden arts." I saw that his hands were sealed, and the moisture in the air quickly condensed into a thick fog, and his figure became looming. "When Uncle Ben was still in the mist-hidden assassination force, you weren't born yet." Without another snort, he rushed towards Naruto, and Naruto sneered, "What are you bragging about? Loquat Juzo is not. You take your head as a ninja knife 7. No more." His face changed. How did he know the origin of his beheading knife? But before he had time to think about it, the half-cut blade that was not cut had already appeared in front of Naruto. "Boy, don't think that the sharpness of the knife is everything. Now my big knife has also poured into chakra, with you can't cut it." Poof. Episode 86. Crushed in all directions, no more chopping. The decapitation knife, which had already been broken in two, broke again in response. Don't look at the decapitation knife in his hand stunned. Obviously he has used chakra to protect why was he still cut off by the big kitchen knife in that guy's hand? Naruto looked at the surprised one with a smile and said, "Is this knife of yours a fake product? Doesn't seem very strong." The abilities of the slashing knife varied, and there was no doubt that the slashing moon was sharp and hard in addition to being able to release the high-density compression of spiritual pressure into the crescent moon heavenly rush. Even without chakra protection, it is absolutely impossible to destroy the slashing knife with the weapons in the ninja world. The biggest feature of the decapitation knife is that it repairs itself by absorbing the iron element in the blood, and the firmness of an iron knife cannot be compared to that of chopping moon even under the bonus of chakra. If you don't cut your face livid, put away the decapitation knife, and if you use it again, your own blade will be cut off, and how to repair it through blood. What's the use of a sharp knife? Ninja weapons are nothing more than auxiliaries. Look at your dress is just a subordinate. Today I will let you see Uncle Ben's physical skills. Without saying that, a momentary figure appeared in front of Naruto. He guarded Kakashi on the side with his eyes, and if he wanted to say who was the most threatening to him, it was undoubtedly Kakashi, a replica ninja who was famous on this battlefield. So he left at least half of his mind on Kakashi's body, and what Naruto said just now that he went first was just a smoke bomb that Kakashi used to confuse himself. If you don't sneer in your heart, how can you not see such a superficial trick as an elite Shangren? Don't think that giving a ninja knife can suppress yourself with this little ghost. Uncle Ben is a peach land who is proficient in silent murder, and he will not be chopped. No more sneering, little ghost. The bait is not so good. Saying that, he kicked Naruto's chin directly from the bottom up, and at the same time took out a kunai thorn in his hand and pointed it at Naruto. However, I didn't see that Kakashi at this time was looking at him with sympathy and comparing him with Naruto. This guy has been exercising with Kai since he was a child, although later when he competed with himself and Itachi, he used a lot of wooden dun. But Kakashi never doubted this guy's physical skills. Even if he didn't slash his physical skills, he seemed to be stronger than himself, and Kakashi thought the same. Sure enough, when he didn't chop Naruto's jaw again, a palm locked his calf like steel bars, and a force that was difficult to resist came, and he only felt his vision rotate for a while, and then the whole person was thrown out like a leather ball. Just kidding. Although it wasn't long, Naruto was cultivating a bald cultivation method at this time. Even after only a few months, Naruto's progress in the flesh has reached those powerhouses in the pirate world next door. Although in terms of top combat power, the pirate world is definitely inferior to Hokage. But in terms of high-end combat power, the pirates are undoubtedly crushing the Hokage world. After all, as long as the guys who exceed the level of the Emperor and the General level have the Super Shadow level. In terms of strength, it may not be as strong as the Senju Pillar and Madara, but it is far superior to the Hokage world in terms of quantity. And their cultivation method is also based on refining the body. At least the detonation charm that can send away the shadow level powerhouse is basically no different from fireworks in front of them. And the same is true of Naruto now. At this time, his physical strength is comparable to that of the third generation of Thunder Kage, and in terms of strength, he is even close to surpassing Tsunade. You must know that Naruto at this time has only been exercising for a few months. When the 3-year period passed, Naruto would be able to smile like Saitama and watch them die of exhaustion that they couldn't even break their own skin. At this time, he was thrown out and limped, and his right leg had been pinched by Naruto with 5 clear bruises. He looked at Naruto in shock. How is it possible? How can you have so much strength? And Naruto waved his hand casually, directly setting off a gust of wind in the air to blow away the thick fog in the sky. This is a big breakthrough? That's not right. Chakra's presence was not felt. He looked at Naruto, who appeared in the mist and was slapping his palm with a look of disgust, each swing bringing a gust of wind. No more chopping? What kind of strange power is this, Nima? Isn't that a bit excessive? However, as an elite Shangren from the Blood Mist village, naturally did not flinch because of this change, only to see him jumping back and standing on the surface of the river. Humph. What about great strength? What we ninjas are best at is ninjutsu. I saw that I didn't cut my hands again and began to seal rapidly. Ugly shin hai unitary ugly noon wei in hai chen wei sun, ugly shin unitary sun hai yu. Sasuke on the side looked at it with a shocked look and said in surprise, what a fast sealing speed. Such a complex print can be completed in seconds. Xiangyu on the side looked at Sasuke proudly, seal? What is the seal? Saying that, she also rubbed a ball at Sasuke. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Damn it, if he hadn't learned it, where would it be your turn to pretend in front of me? And as the uncut handprint fell, a violent current suddenly rose from the calm river to form a giant water dragon and rushed towards Naruto. This ninjutsu is much more powerful than a high-pressure water gun, and once it is hit, even the upper ninja will break a few ribs. Without chopping a smug glance, Naruto glanced proudly. Ninjutsu is the real weapon of Ninjutsu 473. And Naruto rolled his eyes. Except for the ghost mackerel, you are the only one who is serious. I saw Naruto raise his hand, and an ice bird suddenly appeared in the air, exploding pheasant beak. In the face of the oncoming water dragon, The cold aura emitted by the ice bird instantly froze it and easily shattered it. Impossible, no longer widened his eyes. You are from the Shui Wuyue clan? Naruto smiled crookedly, who stipulated that the ice escape only exists in the Shui Wuyue clan. Lao Tzu is a genius, can't he fuse chakra? He looked at Naruto with a look of disbelief. The first-generation blood succession realm owner? No way, and at this time, Bai on the big tree on the other side was a little excited. Could he be a clan member like himself? And at this time, Zai Wu chopping seemed a little crazy. I don't believe it. I saw him dodge the ice bird violently, and his hands were frantically sealed again. Water escape great waterfall technique. The massive amount of river water was led by the uncut chakra, and the rushing water like a flood rushed towards Naruto and the others. Kakashi's brow furrowed, he was about to cast the earth flow wall to resist the impact of the waterfall, but Naruto let out a cold breath and put his hand on the ground. Ice Age. Episode 8. Do you want to kill and don't behead? I'll help you. The terrifying cold aura struck from Naruto's hand in the direction of no more slashing, and in the face of the terrifying move that could freeze the white-bearded sea shock, the trick that no longer thought was even the slightest room for resistance was frozen in an instant. Impossible. No matter how much his eyes bulged, Kakashi looked at Kakashi behind Naruto, who was coming towards him with a shocked expression. Sure enough, the guy who froze the entire Konoha at that time was Naruto in front of him. In addition to Mujuan, Naruto actually developed Ice Stun? Does the teacher's son have such a terrifying talent? Without another big jump to avoid the attack of the ice, suddenly a terrifying gravitational force came, and his body in mid-air was grabbed by Naruto's hand without any resistance. Naruto's reincarnated eyes glowing with a faint blue light stared mockingly. Okay, fine dog? No longer struggling desperately, he found that his strength was very different from the teenager in front of him. Talented. This is a terrifying genius that is not inferior to the yellow flash of the year. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully defeating the misty hidden Murakami Shinobu Peach Land and obtaining 50,000 destiny points without chopping. Huh? Is this the end of it? Naruto looked at the slash in his hand with a bored face. Because he himself deliberately restrained his strength, he could now feel the feeling of pretense when Uchiha faced the Ninja Alliance in the 4 battles. He also understood why Saitama-sensei had no waves in his heart when facing the weirdo. It is really too different in the combat effectiveness of the two sides, and they have completely lost the sense of urgency of competition. As Madara said, how can adults see like children? And Naruto's strength at this time can even reach the 6th level, facing an upper shinobi. This is no longer the difference between an adult and a bare child. It's the difference between humans and ants. How can humans be happy to step on an ant? He stared at Naruto unwillingly. It's impossible. How can Konoha have such a number 1 figure as you? I didn't have any information about you in the manual when I was in the dark department. Dark manual? Naruto looked at the one in his hand and smiled. Anymore. Not really. After all, I'm only 12 years old now, and I just became a shinobi this year. Looking at Naruto in shock, he said with difficulty, no, it can't be. 12 years old? 3 years younger than Shiro. The 3 of Sasuke looked at Naruto unwillingly, and the question of not cutting directly broke the hearts of the 3. They have been ignoring Naruto's grade. Only in this way can they find a trace of comfort in the huge gap between them and Naruto. Now the sad matter was mentioned by Kakashi. At this time, the 3 had to accept that the boy in front of them, who looked like 17 or 8, was the same age as them. Kakashi turned to Naruto and said, then Duo, wait a minute, don't kill him first. Let's get some information. However, at this time, 2,000 books suddenly appeared and shot towards the neck that was no longer chopped. A bad smile flashed at the corner of Naruto's mouth, and the power of Nien was activated, and Shiban was nailed in mid-air in an instant. The white face on the tree changed, and he didn't see how Naruto stopped his Senbon. Who? The 3 of Sasuke looked in unison in the direction of Senbon's attack and shouted angrily. Bai, wearing the mask of the dark part of the mist-hidden village, came into their eyes. Oops, didn't kill, haha, angry. Naruto manipulated Senbon and shook and smiled at Shiro. The corner of the white eye under the mask twitched twice, and even with his personality, he almost couldn't resist stepping forward to beat this guy. Kakashi stared at Shiro and frowned. You are a chasing ninja from the mist-hidden village? Bai Chang bowed calmly and said, thank you really, it's worthy of being a copy ninja Kakashi. I've been waiting for the opportunity to kill and kill again. If it weren't for the help of your squad, I might have been lurking for a long time. Sasuke's 3 frowned. Chasing the ninja? Is that legendary special unit dedicated to pursuing the rebels in their own village and preventing them from revealing the secrets of the shinobi village? Shiro said to Kakashi at this time, if you don't kill the secrets of a large number of mist-hidden villages, in order to prevent conflicts between the 2 villages, please don't kill them again. Now that the 5 villages are in peacetime, if this kind of rebellion is caught secretly, It will be even if the other party's dark department is generally extradited back to their respective villages to prevent the destruction of the peace agreement between the two villages. Kakashi naturally knew this as a dark part. Naruto, this guy. Naruto looked at Shiro playfully and smiled. I caught it with my ability, why should I give it to you? If you don't scold wildly in your heart, why doesn't this guy play cards according to the routine? Isn't he afraid of causing a war between two villages? He is also one of the former ninja Dao 7. And the proper mist hidden village is a high battle. If a person of this strength falls into Konoha, he will inevitably try his best to take back his assassination. Bai's brows furrowed. You're not afraid of causing a war between two villages? Kakashi also looked at Naruto and persuaded. Naruto, don't be impulsive. Once Konoha falls into war, it will inevitably trigger the fourth ninja war. As an old-timer who survived the 3 wars, he clearly knows the cruelty of the Ninja World War. At the harshest times, even the young shinobi were sent to the battlefield. If it weren't for Mater Dai kicking the 7 people of the Ninja Dao into auspicious 3 treasures with his life, Mat Kai, I don't know how high the grave grass of Huagunma and the others would have risen. And if the Mist Hidden Village continues to participate in the war, the loss of the 3rd Ninja World War Konoha may be much more than that. Therefore, Kakashi naturally did not want to start the dispute of the Ninja World War. He clearly knew that the so-called peace treaty was just a dead letter. And once the Mist Hidden Village found an excuse, the group of madmen would inevitably start a new round of war. And Naruto, who knew the details of Shiro, was naturally leisurely, not to mention that it was impossible for the Mist Hidden Village to start a war, even if the 4th Ninja World War really started now. Naruto also had the confidence to directly make the other 4 ninja villages feel the horror from the super shadow. So, if you don't kill you will die? Naruto looked at Shiro pretending to sigh helplessly, and Shiro was overjoyed in his heart, naturally. If your Uchiha clan of Konoha is left behind, you Konoha will definitely not let him go, right? As soon as these words were spoken, Sasuke's face behind him changed, and he clenched his fists fiercely. And Naruto nodded abruptly. So that's the case, if you want to kill and don't behead, I'll help you all ice time. Frozen hour. Saying that a terrifying cold aura rose in Naruto's hand, in just a moment, the whole person instantly turned into a strange ice sculpture, and his white face changed abruptly. Don't behead the adult again. 1,000 kills water soaring. The frozen solid ice on the ground instantly rose, and countless ice needles shot towards Naruto. Episode 88. I'll show you some excitement. The ice needles shot towards Naruto, and Kakashi and the others frowned, not knowing why his reaction was so big. Didn't he still want to kill him just now? Even if you want to capture it alive, you won't have such a big reaction, right? Naruto smiled, let go of the slash in his hand, directly chose to take 2 steps back. Shiro's pupils shrank, and an instantaneous appeared under the ice sculpture and nervously caught the ice sculpture that was not chopped. The ice sculpture is no longer lifelike, as if it has entered absolute zero in an instant. Don't cut the adults again. Bai looked at Zai Wuyue anxiously, and used the ice escape secret technique belonging to the Shui Wuyue clan, and directly pulled Zai Wu Chop out of the ice sculpture. Naruto was amazed when he saw this, and had to say that Bai's ice escape obviously had similarities with the Ghost Lamp family's hydration secret technique, and they were able to integrate their bodies into ice crystals. It's just that Naruto didn't expect that he could still pull out the people in the ice, and this effect is undoubtedly very similar to the ability of frozen fruit. Even the magic mirror ice crystal has an effect similar to the 8-foot Kyanga jade of the yellow ape. Condensing multiple ice mirrors around the enemy, I can move 250 lines at the speed of light between several ice mirrors, and take advantage of the gap to launch an attack with 1,000 books. Of course, this speed of light can be captured at the same speed of light as the yellow ape, and the 2 pillars can barely keep up with the speed of his movement by opening a single pair of riding wheel eyes. At this time, Zaibu Chop was frozen to the point that his face was livid, and Bai looked at Zaibu Chop back and forth with a nervous face. If you don't chop the Lord again, are you okay? At this time, even if everyone was stupid, they could see that the 2 were together. Are you a subordinate who will not be beheaded? Kakashi frowned and looked at Shiro, who couldn't hide it and slowly took off his mask. Girl. Kazuki and Sakura both exclaimed, and Shiro said with an apologetic face, I'm sorry, I'm a boy. Everyone? After finally warming his body back with chakra, he looked at Naruto with a solemn expression. Who the hell are you? Why have I never heard of you? Naruto spread his hands and smiled. I'm just a Konoha shinobi. Seeing that Naruto didn't say anything, he didn't cut at Shiro and asked, Are you sure? Shiro nodded firmly. My blood succession limit can shuttle on the ice he created at will, which is very beneficial to us, and his ice escape should be ineffective against me. No more rejoicing. Good. You go deal with that little ghost. Kakashi, come and hand it over to me. Bai looked at the body that was not chopped with a worried expression. If you don't behead your lord, you are already injured. I think we will withdraw first this time. He nodded without hearing this. They came this time to collect intelligence. Since the purpose has been achieved, waiting for the next attack is the best choice. However, at this time, Naruto said speechlessly, "Are you guys when we are air? Want to leave since you're here?" Without suffocating, he said, "Humph. Gremlin. Don't think that only you have the ice escape blood succession limit, your ice escape is restrained by Bai, and he can borrow the cold ice you made at will. You can't beat it, this time it's just to let you go." Naruto looked at him strangely and said, "Who told you that I would only be freezing?" Without being stunned, the next second he saw Naruto clasp his hands together. "Show you something exciting. Mudun Tree Realm Birth Technique." The terrifying chakra instantly gushed out, and countless knotted vines directly broke through the cold ice created and rushed out of the ground. No longer chopping looked at Naruto with a shocked look at this time. "Impossible. Muduan? Isn't Mudun already lost? Even the Thousand Hands clan has been wiped out. Let's go." Without another snort of anger, at this time, he had completely given up his intention to fight Naruto. Whether in terms of chakra or ninjutsu, Naruto crushed his heel in all directions. Even Kakashi looked at Naruto with a shocked expression. The scale of Naruto's use of the wooden dun before was not as terrifying as it was now. He didn't know that Naruto at this time, under the talent bonus of the Asura bloodline, cooperated with the Nine Tails to constantly feed back to Naruto chakra. At this time, his personal chakra was already close to 10,000 calories, which was not much different from the amount of chakra of immortal Ming in the fourth battle. This was when Naruto didn't turn on the nine-tailed chakra mode. At this time, Naruto fooled the Nine Tails and said that he couldn't unlock the seal now, because the gossip seal set by the Wave Feng Shui Gate would continuously convert the Nine Tails chakra into Naruto's chakra when the Nine Tails picked the lock. With such an automatic cultivation plug-in, Naruto was still reluctant to completely unseal him. Once the gossip seal disappears, Naruto can only refine chakra every day by himself, whereas now lying chakra energy is constantly fed back to his own comfortable and terrifying vines instantly swept the entire forest. Countless branches stretched out from all directions towards Zaibu, Chop and Shiro, trapped in the past. At this time no longer Chop in the heart of the heart, this TM would a hook 8 task. There are ninjas of the level of 1,000 hands and pillars, and they will not accept the special task reward 10 times. "We don't do this task." Shouting loudly as he ran, Naruto behind him sneered, "Even if you don't do it, it's normal for you to be killed as a traitor, right?" At this time, he no longer wanted to cry without tears. Looking at the vines that had blocked the road ahead, he helplessly stopped and said, "How are you willing to let us go?" Naruto smiled slightly. He was worthy of being an elite shinobi, very good, knowing that his subordinates had left them alive. Naruto looked at the two and smiled. "It's good to say, just join Konoha." Zaibu and Shiro suddenly looked at Naruto with a confused expression. "Huh?" A cold sweat broke out on Kakashi's head on the side. "Wait, Naruto, these two are the rebels of the Mist-Hidden Village, the people who assassinated Mizukage. Let them join Konoha, but it will cause a fight between the two countries, right?" Naruto shrugged unconcernedly. "I'm afraid of something, just a parallel goods village like Wuin Village. Even if I come, I can easily destroy him. The other side has a dark face, but he loves his village immensely, and he assassinated Shui Ing to stop Water Shadow's tyranny. And now come out to take over. The task is to accumulate funds, and one day in the future can liberate Wuin Village." The reason why he did not kill at will like other rebels was entirely because he hoped that one day he would be able to return to Wuin Village in an upright manner. And Naruto seemed to see Zaibu's indignation, and he asked Zaibu with a mocking face, "How? Defy? Don't cut your face black, don't go overboard." That dead face made Naruto want to laugh. A village where its own shadow capital has fallen for someone else's illusion. Isn't it parallel goods? Without chopping, he turned his head to look at Naruto and asked with a shocked expression, "What did you say?" Episode 89. Obito is not dead yet. Naruto looked at it with a smile and said, "Very unexpected? Know the Knight of the Nine Tails 12 years ago? The one who controls the Water Shadow is the same person who created the Knight of the Nine Tails in the first place." Kakashi's pupils shrank and said in shock, "You mean Uchiha?" Sasuke looked at Kakashi in shock. Was the Knight of the Nine Tails really done by the Uchiha clan? Kakashi nodded with a complicated face. The blood chakra eye illusion in the Nine Tails eye is clearly visible, and it is not unfounded that Konoha high-level suspects Uchiha. Sasuke's face is ugly, the Uchiha family? Who the hell is it? Weasel? Wrong. At that time, the ferret could not have been so strong. Kakashi seemed to read Sasuke's thoughts, and he delivered a shocking news to everyone. It is said that it could be Uchiha Madara. What? Everyone looked at Kakashi in shock. Isn't Madara dead a long time ago? Kakashi explained, only the legendary Madara can control the tailed beast, and his familiarity with Konoha's techniques is naturally able to silently invade Konoha. And at this time Naruto scoffed, Madara? Long dead. Everyone was stunned when they heard this. Then, Naruto looked at Kakashi with an evil smile, died in the Third Shinobi World War to be exact. Kakashi's pupils shrank. So Uchiha didn't die in the battle with the original Hokage? Naruto smiled and nodded. The reason why he fought with the Senju pillar was entirely because of the cells between the Senju pillar, because he saw the truth of the Sharingan on the Uchiha stone tablet. Sasuke looked at Naruto in surprise. Uchiha stone steel? The one on the clan land? Naruto nodded and smiled at Kakashi. You have turned on the kaleidoscope now. Do you have any ideas? Kakashi was stunned. Kaleidoscope? Sasuke looked at Kakashi with a shocked expression. He not only had the Sharingan eyes of the Uchiha clan, but also had the same eyes as Itachi. Kakashi was also confused. Kaleidoscope? How did I not know? Naruto sneered unceremoniously. That's because you don't want to admit that you killed Rin with your own hands. Naruto's words made Kakashi's heart tremble, and he covered his chakra eyes in pain. The violent mood swings made Sengoyu's chakra eyes spin wildly, and Naruto continued to speak. You are not the only one who opened the kaleidoscope. At that time on the battlefield, the owner of another kaleidoscope, Uchiha Obito, also saw you kill Rin with his own eyes. What? Kakashi looked at Naruto with a shocked expression. The three jades are practiced into a line, and then turned into a kaleidoscope pattern. Kakashi-sensei, your eyes. Sakura looked at the changed Sharingan in surprise, but at this time Kakashi couldn't care about this at all, and he asked Naruto excitedly, so Obito is not dead? Where is he now? Naruto's strength gave Naruto unparalleled credibility. Although I don't know where Naruto got this information, from his understanding of the three battles, Kakashi chose to believe Naruto's words, and suddenly heard the news that his Kyu was not dead. Kakashi was directly haunted by ecstasy. However, Naruto's immediate words made his heart chill. No, Uchiha Obito is dead. What? You didn't say. To be exact, the former Uchiha Obito is dead. The Obito who dreams of being a Hokage, helps every day, and helps her grandmother cross the road, is dead after seeing you kill Rin with Ratchet. In its place is a madman who has chosen to take revenge on the world madly. Kakashi's eyes widened in pain. Obito. The one on the side was confused. Wait a minute. What does this have to do with the water shadow of our Wuin village? What a mess you say again. Naruto glanced at him. So stupid, don't say that you are an elite shinobi. Kakashi was furious when he heard this, and the white eyes on the side flashed. Don't behead my lord again, he said. It is the culprit who controls the water shadow with the Knight of the Nine Tails. And the culprit of the Knight of the Nine Tails is the Uchiha clan. And the kaleidoscope that can control the tailed beast in the Uchiha clan seems to be the only one with the soil besides this Kakashi. After all, the fourth generation of Mizukage-sama is also a human pillar force. After hearing this, his face changed. How is it possible? Why did he control Lord Mizukage? Kakashi on the side suddenly spoke sadly, because of revenge. No longer frowning at Kakashi, he is not a 12-year-old shinobu like Kakashi, and he participated in the Third Ninja War for many years. He didn't know that Rin's death was entirely due to the plan of the Village of Mist, but it was exactly the plan of Uchiha. Naruto watched as the anguished Kakashi threw a bombshell again. That's right. The reason why Obito controlled the water shadow is completely because he retaliated against the Mist Hidden Village for making Rin into a pillar force bomb and wanted to drop it on Konoha. Kakashi closed his eyes in pain, and the touch of Ratchet through the heart of the beloved entrusted by his friends had sunk him in the darkness for 13 years. Until now, when he closes his eyes, he often feels that his hands are stained with blood, and no matter how he washes them, he can't wash them clean. Kakashi asked Naruto dryly, so, Obito took revenge on the Mist Hidden Village, so he controlled Mizukage? Naruto shook his head and grinned. To be exact, it was he who took over the controlled water shadow, and before that, he had been controlled by Uchiha. Why do you think Lin took the initiative to rush at your Ratchet? Because she couldn't commit suicide. This high-level sealing technique was only the legendary Uchiha spot. Kakashi's eyes widened at this time. Why? Why did Madara help the Misty Hidden Village at that time? Help the Misty Hidden Village? Naruto scoffed. He just wants Obito to open a kaleidoscope, and he is optimistic about Obito's qualifications. The improvement of the Sharingan is accompanied by a huge mental stimulation, and the more people who pay attention to feelings, the faster the blood wheel improves. Madara saw Obito's qualifications, and at this time, Madara was in his twilight years, and he needed a toolman to carry out the next plan in his place. When his own brother killed his loved ones, it was also when Obito was completely blackened, and he directly turned on the kaleidoscope at that time. And you are naturally too, but you are not from the Uchiha clan, and you are not skilled in the application of chakra eyes, so the kaleidoscope has always been closed, and your chakra is not enough to open the kaleidoscope. And Obito is different. He turned on the kaleidoscope and was able to use it skillfully, and in order to avenge Rin's death, he turned on the Knight of the Nine Tails, controlled Yukura, and executed an even more brutal blood mist policy. Kakashi closed his eyes in pain, and looked at Naruto in shock again. The suffering of his village for so many years was all because of a woman. Second, Episode 90, Black Cauldron to Shao Organization. we are the number 2 leader. Naruto's wave of output directly hit both the enemy and us, and Kakashi covered his head in pain. Why? Why did he do it to Konoha? Naruto smiled. I said it all, he is already crazy, because the Third Ninja World War is a continuation of the Second Ninja World War, and the Second Ninja World War is the war that Konoha started first. So he blamed Konoha for Rin's death. Plus, Naruto glanced at Kakashi. Obito knew that Rin took the initiative to die for Konoha. Kakashi looked at Naruto incredulously. Immediately, he raised his head with a firm expression. I want to bring the soil back. Bring it back to Konoha. I can't watch him lose himself. Naruto, ahem. Boy, Kakashi version of Jiraiya. And if you don't cut it, it's ugly. Nope. I must bring this intelligence back to the village. I want everyone in the village to see the face of Water Shadow. At this time, Naruto said with a look of disdain, do you think the village will believe you? Obito has been controlling Water Shadow for more than 10 years. All 7 of the ninja Dao were forced to defect. Today's mist-hidden village is firmly in the hands of Yukura. You are just sending you to death when you go back now. After listening to it, his face became gloomy again, and he knew that Naruto was right. Even if he returned to the mist-hidden village, he could not change the status quo. However, as a person who single-handedly killed all the examinees in the same period in order to change the blood mist policy, his consciousness was no less than that of the great filial weasel. I saw him kneel on the ground with a pop. I am willing to be your subordinate, please save the misty hidden village. Having seen Naruto's strength, he naturally put this life-saving straw on Naruto's body, and since Naruto said these things, it definitely meant that he was able to solve this problem. And no matter how much he dreams, he wants to restore peace to his village. Bai on the side also knelt down without hesitation. For him, no more cutting is his everything. Naruto looked at the 2 who were willing to pledge their allegiance and nodded. Yes, after this year's Chunin exam, I will go to Mist Hidden Village to help you solve this problem. Until then, your mission remains the same. Continue to collect funds. And I don't think the money from Cardo's illegal business should remain in the hands of this kind of garbage. Without hearing this, he looked at Naruto in amazement. Are you going to do something to Kato? Naruto asked strangely, can't it? Without glancing at Kakashi helplessly, Kakashi then sorted out his mood and explained to Naruto, even if it is a rebellion, he will not rashly do it directly to the nobles and celebrities. The ninja world is not as simple as you think. Maybe you can easily defeat those rich merchants and rob them of their money. But in this way, the money you snatched will inevitably be coveted by the major ninja villages, because you obtained it illegally, and the money and people are naturally not protected by the village and become rebels. Many bounty hunters are very fond of your rebel with a lot of money. What's more, the rich merchants are in the same spirit, and once a ninja touches the bottom line that directly endangers their personal safety, they will unite to reward your life on the underground black market. After all, they don't want their lives to be threatened by ninjas at any time. And Cardo is one of the richest businessmen in the ninja world. If he directly attacks him, he will inevitably be hunted down and killed by the rich businessmen. At that time, I am afraid that the major ninja villages will be moved, and even some money-greedy ninjas in Konoha will not be able to help but make a move. This is also the reason why I don't finish Cardo tasks honestly, because as long as I don't want to die, no one touches this red line. These rich merchants, celebrities, nobles, daimyo are like Naruto's capital in a past life. Even if they don't have a direct weapon in their hands, they can influence the world through money. This is also in the theater version of the Fire Nation that the daimyo of the Fire Country once threatened Tsunade. If they can't solve the Bairuhu, they don't mind destroying Konoha and re-establishing a ninja village. At that time, Konoha's combat power, what they said was really not empty words, while cutting off Konoha's economic resources, hiring the other 4 major ninja villages and even the Shao organization to encircle and suppress Konoha. Konoha is absolutely impossible to survive. Therefore, when Kakashi heard that Naruto wanted to do something to Kato, he broke out in a cold sweat. If it were not for the real carelessness, and the ninja who was still bent on dying would never have been able to make a move on these capitals. And Naruto scoffed at this. He sneered and said, "That's your estimation based on your strength." And this group of nobles seems to have drifted a little after the death of Pillar. They seem to have forgotten that this world is a world where the strong are respected, and the Thousand Hands Pillar has suppressed the ninja world for 18 years, and no country dares to make a move against Konoha and the Land of Fire. Isn't it easy to get a nuclear level? Then let this group of scum behind the scenes only know who is driving the war, understand who has the final say in this world. If you don't cut it, since you want to save Wuin village, you will show the attitude of giving up everything, and even the district Kato does not dare to move. And you are also worthy of talking about letting me hide peace? No longer cut his face livid, but his eyes flashed with determination. Good. I do. And I will kill Kato in my own name, and it will not implicate you and Konoha. Naruto looked at the look and waved his hand with a look of disgust. Your name? Can you catch it? What I want is Cardo's money. I need you to control Cardo's assets and kill Kaido in your own name. I'm afraid you will be divided by those crazy ninjas in less than a week. You think I want you to die? You also underestimate me. What I want is to beat you every month. Well, it's just for you to help me take care of my assets. Publicize that you have joined the subordinates of Shao Organization Zero, and when someone comes looking for something, report my name. Sasuke looked at Naruto without confusion. Shoki? Naruto triumphantly took out the zero ring that Shui Pain had obtained before, shook it and said, "We are the number 2 head of the Shao Organization." Kakashi? Then Naruto said to Zaibu, "Next, you go and kill Cardo, then take control of his business empire and give me the money you earn. By the way, remember to come to me once a month to report your work, and I can also help you train your training strength by the way." Naruto 2.7 shook his head and sighed, "Your strength is still too weak." Looking at Naruto speechlessly, he was an elite shinobi. Shiro's strength is not even inferior to his own. How can it get to Naruto's mouth as if he is a little minions? He nodded his head again. "I know what to do." Naruto waved his hand to untie the cage of the birth of the tree realm. "Then hurry up, remember to report the work once a month, and bring a little dividend by the way." No longer nodded, and then left instantly under Shiro's help. Kakashi on the side looked at Naruto painfully. "Are you serious?" Naruto nodded of course. "Just kidding, it's good to have a girlfriend who spends a lot of money. With extra money, I saved myself the task." Kakashi rolled his eyes when he heard this. "That's because you have many girlfriends."